What's up guys, I'm Phoenix Master 1 and welcome to another Resplendent review. Today I'm going to be taking an in-depth look at Resplendent RYOMA, and this is going to be a comprehensive analysis on him. I'll be going over the best builds that you can run on him for different game modes like Arena, PvE, and of course Aether raids. So if you do enjoy these consistent reviews, I would really appreciate if you could destroy the like and subscribe button just like RYOMA destroys in Birthright. So that said, let us begin. So RYOMA is a Gen 1 infantry unit, and he actually got a pretty nice weapon refine for his distant counter weapon, providing him with the null follow-up effect. And this is definitely one of the better distant counter weapon refines in my opinion compared to Ike or Black Knights. And this allows him to pretty much run a damage reduction build in slot B for free, and he's not going to be missing out on null follow-up like a lot of the other damage reduction tanks. So I actually have a plus 10 merge max investment RYOMA on my main account, which I do use quite a lot. And having used him a lot since the start, I would say that he's definitely a pretty solid unit now after his weapon refine, but he does take quite a bit of investment with dragon flowers and stuff. For me, he's one of my favorite Fates characters, so it was a no-brainer with all of the investment that I did on him. But if you can have access to the newer units like Brave Marth, then they can of course pretty much do the same function but at much lower investment, and even at unmerged honestly. So RYOMA is good, but he definitely needs some investment with merges and dragon flowers, especially dragon flowers because he can get up to 20, so that help him quite a lot with the extra stats. And these Resplendent stats also help him quite a lot to just close the gap between a Gen 1 unit and a modern day unit. For example, here as you can see, this is a Resplendent plus 1 RYOMA with 18 dragon flowers, and he has pretty similar stat spread to an unmerged Brave Marth. Now of course Brave Marth is still going to be much better because of Shining Emblem being a better special and the fact that Marth can get the self-healing and the Vantage skill from his weapon, but still as you can see RYOMA can kind of close up the gap, at least in terms of pure stats. So he can definitely function, but like I said, he definitely needs that investment, and his weapon refine allows him to be a pretty nice unit for in-game content and even for Aether raids and Arena. In Arena especially, because if you're going to be running him with Duel Infantry 4, then you're still going to be able to bait out the ranged units, which is definitely one of the boons of having a distant counter weapon. And even in the Aether raids, a lot of units have auto follow-up weapons, so the null follow-up built into his weapon is going to be proving to be quite useful. His resistance isn't really all that high, so that is going to be a troublesome thing against a lot of the magical units with AoE specials like Legendary Lilina, who do check for the visible resistance stat. So overall, Resplendent RYOMA has aged to be a pretty nice Gen 1 unit, and he's certainly viable and pretty good at his role, but of course the competition of sword infantries never seems to end, so that is going to be the thing if you want to invest into him or just use some kind of modern sword infantry unit at lower investment who already come with pretty good skill set. Like Brave Marth for example comes with the damage reduction build, already has distant pressure and everything from the start. If you're trying to use Resplendent RYOMA on a budget, then you can run Steady Posture or Swiss Stance in his slot A, and you can easily get that from Tatiana or Raisin. And because we're not running the tier 3 version of these skills, you can just run Guard in slot B or just have some other budget skill like maybe a Link skill. And you're mostly going to be using this in Arena Assault or limited hero battles, so it is going to be helping you. And Speed Smoke can be really nice to make sure that he can double even at this low investment. Speed Resistance form is of course going to be helping you because he does not have very good resistance at this low investment, so he definitely appreciates the plus 7 res from this Sacred Seal. If you're trying to use him in the player phase, then you can certainly run a budget Windsweep build because null follow-up allows you to double regardless of Windsweep and still not get counter-tagged. We have seen this a million times on so many other units who have null follow-up in their weapon, so you can also do that on RYOMA. We're of course not going to be making the use of distant counter here, but at low investment this could be a viable option with Blade Session, just boosting your offensive power. And Raijinto is going to be active in the player phase always, so he can get the plus 4 to all of his stats. You can also run him with solo Sacred Seals and solo skill in slot A, and this is the RYOMA which I'm running right now, and he does pretty well. Now even though his weapon requires you to be within 2 spaces of an ally for it to work in the enemy phase, you can still easily trigger the solo skills by just being 1 space away from an ally and also triggering his weapon refinery condition. So it does work out pretty easily, and Spurn does give you the damage reduction, which is definitely something RYOMA appreciates, having this kind of high speed and having null follow up in his weapon refine. You can also use him with Kestrel Stance 3, which you can find in the Divine Code section. Now, unfortunately, as of making this video, you cannot inherit Kestrel Stance and Close Call at the same time, but I'm hoping that they can maybe give some kind of Grail unit or 3-star 4-star unit with Kestrel Stance too, so that we can get both of these skills at the same time. So he does appreciate the guard effect from this tier 3 stance skill, and the extra speed and the damage reduction build is going to be perfect on him. Close Call, of course, is not going to be giving you the extra damage output in the enemy phase, but it can help you with the positioning in the player phase. Mystic Boost is pretty nice for self-healing as a tank, and it also disables the Wrathful Staff of the staff units, so it does improve his matchup against those kinds of units. And I feel like the best skill for his slot A is going to be Attack Speed Unity. The reason being is that it is perfectly synergetic with his Weapon Refine, especially the enemy phase condition, which requires you to be within 2 spaces of an ally, and this also works in both phases unlike these stand skills. So you can easily get the guard effect on the enemy if you run Tannin Baton on your healer, on your team, or run some kind of roost skill, but you cannot really handle the debuffs externally that easily like you can with Unity skill. And Attack Speed Unity is perfect for him because he already wants to run a damage reduction build, and if he's going to be maxed out and having this kind of high attack and speed, then he's going to be attracting a lot of chill skills and shrine debuffs, so you can easily make use of this. And Attack Speed Menace is a skill which a lot of units run, so you can easily trigger the Unity effect if you're going to be facing an opponent with that kind of skill. John Drive Attack or John Drive Speed are pretty good slotsy options for Ryoma, and I would personally run this Ryoma myself, but I don't really have any kind of extra Marianne, and when I built up my plus in Ryoma, Unity skills were not a thing. So this is the best slot A skill in my opinion if you want to use Ryoma at max investment. And if you're going to be using your Floret on him, then just use it on his attack, because speed is already his best IV, and boosting up his attack is going to be helping you in the 1-round KOs, because units can be absurdly bulky nowadays. You can also run Swiss Stance as an option. Guard effect is definitely pretty nice for a tank anyways, and this can give you the extra resistance, so this is an option if you're not trying to give him Kestrel Stance. Competitively speaking, he's going to be a pretty good unit in Arena with Duel Infantry 4. He's not going to be scoring anything absurdly high, he's just going to be scoring as a 180 BST unit, but he can of course be used for baiting out a lot of the ranged threats because of his distant counter weapon, and the null follow-up is extremely useful in Arena where units have follow-up negation skills and auto follow-up skills. And a damage reduction skill in slot B is going to be necessary. I do like Close Call a bit more than Spurn for Arena usage, because this allows you to have the movement shenanigans in the player phase, and that is really useful in Arena where you do not have access to the positional assist skills, so Close Call can definitely help. You can also run him in Aether Raid's offense with this kind of build. Unity skills are absolutely the best ones for him for Aether Raid's offense, and Note is going to be having Attack Speed Menace, so you can easily have it activated, and he's going to be attracting some Bright Shrines anyways. So solo tanking is not the best in my opinion right now, but he can still work it out because of his Weapon Refine, and you'd certainly need to run some kind of support unit who can take care of the bulky blue threats like Brave Hector and stuff like that. So stuff like Legendary Violet, Cecilia, or maybe Brave Micaiah could be a good teammate with him, so you definitely need to have some kind of green unit who can take care of the blue matchups or snipe the blue matchups, because that's pretty much how I used my Seliph in the light season with Cecilia. So you can do similar thing with Ryoma, and if you want to run a support unit with him, then I feel like Brave Lucina is a pretty nice option because he can just retaliate back with Moonbow, and she can also run a Ruse skill or even Pulse Tie to just support Ryoma, give him the guard effect, or neutralize the pre-charge specials of Legendary Sigurd or Legendary Lilina. He can be run in any season, but I do like him a bit more in the light season where he can get extra resistance with Air and Dagger. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, then make sure to share this video with your friends who are big Ryoma fans. And if you enjoyed, then make sure to leave a like and a comment, helps me tremendously. And if you really enjoyed, then you can always support me directly by using Super Thanks or by becoming a YouTube member. For more Resplendent reviews, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell, because YouTube sub boxes are about as functional as birthright enemies against Ryoma. So that's it, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.